Hello fellow YouTubers. I just finished watching The Ledge, that for those of you who don't know is a one-of-a-kind atheist agenda movie. Even though you can't really say it's an atheist agenda movie, it's rather a drama in which the protagonist is an atheist and the antagonist is a Christian. I'm going to give you my opinion about various points in the movie, but I must warn you that this is going to be including many spoilers. So if you did not watch this movie, I am fucking serious. Just stop this video right here, close the tab, and go somewhere else, because I am going to give spoilers which I completely do not recommend. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to close this video and go watch the movie. Okay, now, first of all, at the end of the movie, he jumps to his death. Now, that is just for all you smartass motherfuckers that decided to stay here, although I warned you that there are gonna be spoilers. So, screw you guys. If you actually stayed watching this movie, even though I told you not to, then go fuck yourselves. One of my favorite things about this movie is actually the awesome sex scenes. And I mean awesome. I've always thought that Liv Tyler is actually one of the most attractive Hollywood actresses there are. And you could see her titties. Now, my only point of criticism about this movie is that I was expecting a lot more atheist arguments and theist arguments and clashing of ideas and really deep discussions, but instead it was very shallow. They were barely scratching the top. They didn't get into depth. Rather, every time an argument started to heat up a little bit or try to get into a interesting thing, it would stop and they would do something else. Like, for example, on the rooftop scene, he tells her to lie back and look at the stars, and he describes the size and magnificence of the universe and how she should feel lucky that, as far as we know, we're the only planet that has life, and that it's such a rare occurrence that she should treasure her life. But then they start making out. That's it. I mean, they don't really get into depth about anything. That's kind of disappointing. I really liked the end of the movie, when the black officer comes back home to his family and he sits down to the table and his wife smiles and asks, "Shall we say grace?" And then he says, "Nah, let's just eat." That's exactly to the point, although it was kind of predictable. I really liked that. Also, that one of his kids asked him, like, "How come?" And he says, "Just listen to me, I'm your father." Thumbs up for that. There are also 3 very good points that I would like to address. The first one being that a lot of theists, if not most of them, don't really believe that what they believe is the answer to what's going on in our universe, or even likely to be the truth. But they rather make mental backflips in order to convince themselves to believe in it, simply because they need a mental crutch to lean on. Because the 2 main characters that are theists in this movie, which are the husband and wife, both of them had a background of drug abuse, both of them found themselves in the gutter, and both of them got saved and born again. So, of course, when there's somebody in distress, then theism might be good for him, because it is something to put your faith in, something to hope for, you know, somebody to talk to, even if it is an imaginary friend. I think this point is excellent. It is very well demonstrated, and I think it is a valid one. Now, the second point is if you encounter a person who is about to die, let's just say a little child, like they bring up in the movie. If you see a kid that it has a few hours left to live, and both of his parents died in a car accident, and he doesn't have long to live either, and he asks you, am I going to heaven? And are mommy and daddy in heaven? As an atheist, what would you answer that little boy? I mean, would you let him die thinking that he's going to heaven? Or would you tell him, no, there is no heaven, and possibly try to put it the best way that would not offend him as possible? Personally, what I would do is I would lie out of my ass just to convince him that there is a heaven and that his parents are going to heaven. Simply because he's a goner anyway, so he might as well die peacefully. I mean, as an atheist, I don't believe that there are any moral consequences to lying, and I'm actually a person who believes that lying is not bad, period. The intention behind the lie is the whole thing that makes it either moral or immoral. You can have a lie out of selfish reasons or out of shame. I think those are completely stupid. I don't lie about anything simply because I am not ashamed of anything I ever did, and I accept myself and I know myself the way I truly am. I don't have such a strong ego, so I don't really find it necessary to come up with lies when I could just simply tell the truth. But on the other hand, there is such a thing as white lies. I believe that white lies are moral to use. It would, in some situations, be immoral not to lie, such as the example of a dying child. Now, here's the main point of the movie, and a rather interesting and complicated one, and it is, would you die for your beliefs? Now, it's easy to point out which kind of people do die for their beliefs, which was also pointed out in the movie. For example, the guys who crashed the planes into the buildings in 9/11, they died for their beliefs. There are various other examples, but me personally, I must say that it depends on what the circumstances are, and it depends what belief it is to defend. Will I die to defend free speech? Probably not. If somebody threatens my life to take my freedom of speech away from me forever, will I die to defend that? Probably not. Will I die for my right to marry the person I love? Probably not. But will I die for a loved one? It depends on the circumstances. Most likely, yes. Will I die to defend my atheism? Depends on the circumstances. If I was put a gun to my head and they tell me that you must believe in Jesus and you must worship him your entire life from now on, you must abide by the rules of the Bible, I would probably take a bullet to the head instead. What would you do? Comment down below. If you like this, thumbs up. If you thought my spoilers ruined your experience, then you probably shouldn't have been a dumbass and watched this video, even though I've told you you shouldn't. Share your thoughts about the movie and the various points you found in it. And have a fucking nice day.